Europa Universalis Rome. Yes, another Roman game under review today. Europa Universalis Rome is a spin-off title from the Europa Universalis series by Paradox. Released in 2008, it is straight off of the then brand new Clausewitz engine that was powering EU3. The game, like any good Paradox title, offers you a wide variety of starting dates available. Due to the engine limitation with the BC era, we have to use Har ub Condita, which is the traditional date for the founding of Rome on 21st of April 753 BC. The earliest date available is during the Pyrrhic War, and it goes all the way until the very near end of the Empire. EU Rome plays out exactly like any other Paradox title on the Clausewitz engine, namely a real-time puzzle grand strategy game. It's hard to explain exactly what it is to someone who never experienced it, but if you did, you know exactly what I mean. You have the control of any country you pick, and you're set to achieve whatever you want in the time offered, and keep in mind, you can't always win. Picking a small nation with a weak military is signing off into your death sentence for sure, but you're welcome to try. Except from your usual angry and ready to invade neighbors, we have additional immense threat in Europa Universalis Rome, the barbarian hordes. Every uncolonized province in this game is loaded with angry barbarians that will attack your troops as they march through the land. That isn't such a problem if you tread carefully, but in addition to that, the barbarians can become unwieldy and start packing up from far and move around. Every province they go through, they will grow in size. A single barbarian leaving a far-fetched land in Germania can easily become a massive invasion force when they reach the Alps, and trust me, they will. Outside of this, the battles and recruitment and yada yada are exactly like Europa Universalis. You spend money, you have manpower, and you build troops. There is even a technology tree that will allow you to progress your state and unlock new buildings and units. For the units though, you have a small square needed to produce anything more than militia simpleton. Interestingly enough, the military units you have in the field will become loyal to their commander with enough time, which is good because the commander will take personal care in paying their salary, but bad because if there is a civil war, then there aren't your troops anymore if the commander decides so. There are two features that are unique to EU Rome. The first one is trading. In this game, each province is a single good being produced. The goods allows the province specific bonus. For example, wine reduces the chance of unrest, while iron allows better unit, and timber gives the ability to construct ships. Each province also has a certain number of trade routes available, and you can then connect that province to any order with the different produced good. This will act as a marriage and give benefit of both goods in both provinces and generate a small amount of money at the same time. But the most interesting feature in this game is the political aspect. Now, well, if you picked up a smaller country or insignificant country, which basically means anything but the Roman Empire, you'll find the system to be somewhat limited and you don't have much choice in the classic undemocratic tribes. But if you pick the great Roman Empire, you'll get on a ferry to a well fleshed out political system. You have a Senate. You will need to carefully balance each factions and assign important position to characters from these factions. There are a lot of characters in your empire. They all have their own personal ambition and objectives, and you can help them out for a payback in the future when you will be in a dire situation. One thing that is a little bit odd with the RPG-esque system straight from Crusader Kings is that you are not always the same character. You are always the consul no matter which character occupies the position, so fulfilling objectives and winning wars will add to the prestige of the current consul, and any decision taken will be reflected upon this character. So if some undesirable is the consul, then you may want to pay close attention to not give him too much credit, because he might just take a chunk of your army and country once he leaves office. Because every so often there will be a new consul put to power, and you'll get perks from their respective faction. For example, a consul from the military faction will help your army, while the marines will help your trading. Then you have a faction you don't really want. A faction that will lead your country to degenerate and decadence. A faction that will start civil wars over petty shit. You have the populist. The populists are scumbags. They'll say and claim anything to get elected. I had the populist politician claiming he will build a huge wall on the border to stop the Germanic hordes from invading, and that he will make them pay for the wall. He also claimed great reforms on the system of healthcare, and that we need to work out better trade deals with the Hellenic city-states. All that while also saying that we should stop military intervention in Judea, and once that populist got elected, you'll never guess what. He never built the wall. He never had any reform. He never worked out a better trade deal. And he sent the largest invasion force ever built by Rome in Judea. Yeah. The populace will say anything to get elected and throws every promises away and just try to put as much money as possible in their own pocket while having all their friends in very important position of power, no matter how unqualified they are for this. And I believe at this point that this shows that even thousands of years later, shit didn't change. Now the graphics are very nice in Europa Universalis Rome. We have a simple and elegant map to stare at, and the units' characters are three-dimensional and unique to each different culture. It is very similar to Victoria 2, so I have no complaint at that level. You won't get flabbergasted by the art style, but even by today's standard, the game is still playable without being an eyesore unlike earlier titles. And we even have a wide range of resolution that can accommodate modern monitors. Though the soundtrack of this game is phenomenal. If I can be critical of Paradox on multiple occasions, I have to give them a lot of critics for the music in their game. More specifically for Europa Universalis Rome, we have a well-balanced soundtrack that accommodates the classic Rome and the enlightened Europe. Here are a few examples. Europa Universalis Rome is a very well balanced and I'd add very fun to game. Even though it has the Europa Universalis in the title, the political facet of the game is much more in depth, and the Crusader King-esque RPG-esque side of things add in the right amount of spice to the game. While this game quickly feels bland if you have high experience with Paradox titles, I am glad I took a few hours of my time to experience it, and it will definitely be a great alternative to the mainstream GSGs out there for when I'll be tired of the countless DLCs released. Hopefully you've enjoyed this review, and if you did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more. See you next time.